Dad passed away. I discovered I have a secret sister who moved in next door to bond with me. Now she wants to spend time together every day, and my grandma got upset when I asked for some space. A couple of months ago, my father unexpectedly passed away due to a heart attack. Not long after, I discovered through his will that I have a half-sister. This was a shock, as my mother had passed away when I was in middle school and I had no idea this person existed until my lawyer broke the news a few weeks back. Her name is Erica, and she's just a few years younger than me, at 28. It turns out my father had an affair years ago, resulting in Erica's birth, and he had been financially supporting her all this time. Finding out your dad had secrets this big is a real bummer, especially when you thought you knew him well. The lawyer had asked if I wanted to meet Erica, and while I didn't want to seem heartless, I wasn't ready for it. My grandmother, however, was pretty keen on the idea of me getting to know Erica, even though she's technically my half-sister. Then, out of the blue, Erica moved in next door about 3 weeks ago. I found this out one weekend morning when she rang my doorbell. Seeing her in person was a shock, but she seemed genuinely happy to meet me. She had flown all the way from New York, where she lived with her boyfriend and ran a successful PR agency for social media creators. She even mentioned how she had always known about me and had heard quite a bit from our dad. It felt weird and awkward, especially because she was so enthusiastic, and I was still processing everything. But given all the effort she put into meeting me, I felt I had to give it a shot, even though I wasn't thrilled about my grandma giving her my contact info without my consent. After talking to Erica that morning, I decided maybe I should give our relationship a chance. She seemed nice, and if she was willing to go to such lengths to connect with me, she might not be so bad. Plus, she mentioned she was tired of living in New York and wanted to be closer to her family here, including me and our grandma. It's still a bit intimidating to think of her as my neighbor, but I'm trying to be open-minded. It's a lot to take in, but I'm hoping to see where this new chapter leads. So right off the bat, I noticed she was being super nice to me, and I told her that it sounded like an amazing idea. Honestly, I thought that early morning visit was a one-time deal, since she had just landed the night before and couldn't wait to hang out. I figured when she said she wanted to build a relationship, we could take our time with it. But then things started to get kinda weird. She began showing up at my place every other day, bright and early, always bringing breakfast with her. I'm really not a morning person. I treasure my peaceful coffee time where I don't have to talk to anyone and can just chill with my own thoughts. But there she was, every morning, whether it was donuts or bagels and coffee, chatting away. I ended up leaving for work just to escape. At first, I tried to tolerate it, thinking she was just being nice. But after 4 days, she started popping by in the evenings too. That was a huge problem for me. I'm an oncologist, and my job is super stressful. When I get home, I just need some time to myself. I can't instantly switch to entertaining guests. But like clockwork, she'd be at my door within 15 minutes of me getting home. It was exhausting. I knew she was trying to be nice and build a relationship, but she was totally ignoring my need for space and boundaries. A couple of days ago, after an especially grueling day at work, all I wanted was to curl up with a good book and some wine, and then sleep. Of course, Erica showed up right after I got home and freshened up. I was already pretty annoyed, so I opened the door, and instead of inviting her in like I usually did, I told her she needed to back off a bit. My tone was probably a bit sharp, but I was so tired and just didn't want to deal with anyone. I told her I needed my space and time to get to know her. We couldn't become besties in just 2 weeks. She'd known about me her whole life, but I had only found out about her a couple of months ago. It wasn't the same for me. I needed her to respect that. I said she was welcome to hang out on weekends, but on weekdays, after work, I just didn't have the energy. I hoped she'd understand where I was coming from. She said she did, but honestly, it was hard to tell what she was feeling from her expression. Even so, I didn't feel guilty. I thought I was as polite as possible given the circumstances. Then yesterday, my grandma called, super disappointed with how I handled things with Erica. She said Erica was just trying to be nice and make up for lost time since she'd be heading back to New York soon to wrap up her life there. Grandma said Erica was really excited about having a sister and was just trying to get to know me. Instead of appreciating that, I had told her to back off. I tried explaining to Grandma that I just needed my space and that I wasn't against building a relationship, just not so fast. But Grandma insisted I owed Erica an apology, saying Erica felt crushed and like she had forced herself on me. Here's the thing. I get why Erica might not understand my need for space, since she hasn't known me long. But Grandma, she's known me my whole life and should get it. I'm a total introvert and really value my alone time. It's not about feeling superior. I just enjoy my own company and occasionally hanging out with friends. I can't even call Erica a friend yet because, honestly, she talks about herself all the time when she's over. I barely got a word in, so how's she supposed to get to know me if she's doing all the talking? Anyway, that's beside the point. The point is, I'm in my 30s, and I need my peace and quiet. I expected Grandma to understand that, but instead, we ended up fighting on the phone. She took this accusatory tone, acting like I was intentionally trying to hurt Erica. She expected me to apologize, but I told her I wasn't going to apologize for having boundaries. So she basically told me that since I was dead set on being on my own, and that's where we left it. So she thought it would be best if she cut me off too, because she didn't want to bother me much. Honestly, I found it pretty hurtful. It felt like she was basically threatening to ditch me if I didn't play nice with Erica, even though Erica was kind of annoying me. But now, after thinking about it, I don't know what to believe anymore. At the end of the day, Erica was just trying to be nice, and I was the one who slammed that door shut. After that argument with my grandma, I feel even more like a jerk for what I did. I just don't know what to feel anymore. Yet, I feel like my actions are somewhat justified. I don't want to talk to my friends about this right now because I need an unbiased and objective opinion, which is why I'm here on Reddit, I guess. So, am I the jerk for telling my half-sister to back off and that I need my space and he can't hang out with her every day? Update 1. After going through the comments, I concluded that what I did was the right thing. I need my space and time to process everything I've learned. I can't do that if she shows up at my doorstep every single day. So I'm sticking to my decision and told my grandma that I'm not going to talk to Erica or apologize to her. I don't even have anything to apologize for. As I mentioned earlier, I was pretty nice to Erica. Anyway, it has been a few days, and Erica hasn't shown up at my house since I told her to back off. After that last conversation with my grandma, she hasn't spoken to me either. I guess she's not going to talk to me until I apologize to Erica, and that's definitely not happening. We're at a standstill right now. Last evening, when I came home from work, I noticed my grandma leaving Erica's house. Erica lives just a few houses away, and we usually just walk to each other's places. I'm pretty sure I saw her from my window when I entered my house, and I realized she was probably there to visit Erica, not me. It sucks because I'm really close to my grandma, and my dad just passed away recently. I can't handle the fact that she's giving me the cold shoulder now, but I was the one who said I wanted peace and quiet, so I guess I can't force her to talk to me. It sucks that I expected her to understand where I was coming from, considering she's known me since I was a kid. Now, it seems she's decisively picking sides, even though she didn't have to. She could have respected my opinion and let it be. I don't mean to sound whiny, but Erica had no reason to complain to my grandma. I was as nice as I could possibly be to her. From what my grandma told me, Erica made it sound like I had been very curt and harsh with her. Anyway, I can't force people to understand and respect my opinions. If they want to see me as the villain just because I have boundaries, they're free to do so. At least I have my own space now, and I can come home and relax instead of entertaining guests as soon as I get back from work. That's one good thing that came out of all this. Update 2. 2 weeks ago, I posted my last update. Since then, not much has happened. Erica stopped visiting me, and a couple of days ago, I saw her getting into a cab with some of her stuff. It was the weekend, and I was taking my usual morning walk around the neighborhood. I couldn't help but ask where she was headed, and she told me she was going to the airport to head back to New York for a few days to wrap things up and come back with her boyfriend. Her tone was very different from how she used to talk to me, which felt a bit weird. She was short with me, and I was taken aback, but I figured she didn't like that I had set boundaries. While she did respect them, she didn't appreciate it. That's her call, and I can't judge her for that. If she thinks I'm the bad guy for saying what I did, I can't help that. I haven't been able to talk to my grandma since our last phone call because I haven't apologized to Erica. Now, I feel like I did the right thing because this morning, my grandma showed up at my place. I thought she was here to finally sort things out, and I was kind of happy. But then, she said she was here to discuss my behavior. I was confused until she said she believed I needed a therapist to process my emotions healthily instead of isolating myself from people who care about me. That was bizarre because I haven't isolated myself from anyone. All I did was tell Erica I didn't want to see her every single day. but I was still open to talking to my grandma and keeping in touch. She's the one shutting me out. As for isolating myself, I don't think I'm doing that at all. I hang out with my coworkers during lunch and occasionally meet up with friends. That's how it's always been. I just don't like going out or having people over every single day. I think that's normal, and I don't need a therapist for that. I got a bit offended and told her I was perfectly healthy and normal and didn't need her to take care of me. Honestly, if I were to see a therapist, it would be because I wanted to deal with my dad's death, not because my grandma thinks I'm weird for not wanting to hang out with my sister. By the way, I didn't even know I had a sister until a couple of weeks ago. My grandma is convinced that talking to a mental health professional would do wonders for me because she thinks my behavior is off and she's worried. So I asked her, if you're so worried about me, then why haven't you talked to me all this time? She said she wanted me to reach out and apologize to Erica like she had previously suggested. But because I was too stubborn, she felt she had to come to me herself. She even started thinking that I saw Erica as the villain since my dad died, which is just ridiculous. I don't think badly of Erica. I just need some space. No matter how much I tried to explain that, she couldn't get it. On top of that, she kept going on about how concerned she was and warned that if I kept acting this way, I'd end up alone. That was my breaking point. I told her bluntly that I already feel alone since both my parents are gone, and she herself isn't exactly helping. She believes I need help, but can't even have a real conversation with me, so I'm not too worried about ending up alone anymore. I had to cut the conversation short because I was late for work, and she finally left. Work was also a nightmare since I was in such a bad mood. I feel like both my grandma and Erica are blowing things out of proportion and trying to guilt trip me for no reason. I was so irritated that I finally vented to a couple of my friends about everything that happened. They all agreed that I did nothing wrong. I was nice to everyone, but just made it clear I needed some space. If that offends someone, they don't belong in my life. And if my grandma thinks there's something mentally wrong with me, she can keep thinking that. I'm done dealing with such immature and weird behavior. Update. It's been 3 days since I last wrote, and a lot has happened. Like I mentioned, my grandma wanted me to see a therapist to sort out my feelings, even though I was pretty clear about what I wanted. She didn't bring it up that day, but the next day she started texting me again, sending me a list of therapists, including those offering online sessions. The implication that something must be wrong with me for not wanting to entertain Erica every day was driving me crazy. So I didn't block her, but I muted all her notifications and haven't responded since. Then, something unexpected happened. While I was at work, my dad's lawyer called. We spoke a few minutes later, and he told me that my dad's affair partner wanted to speak to me. Initially, he said Erica's mom had no interest in talking to me, but now she wanted to. This sudden change surprised me, and my first thought was it had something to do with my behavior with Erica. I expected her to scold me like my grandma, and I really didn't need more drama. So my first impulse was to say no, but the lawyer said it was urgent, so I agreed to give her my number. About half an hour later, she called. After some brief introductions, she got straight to the point. She and her daughter had always known about me and were sorry about my dad's passing. She recently found out from Erica that I thought my grandma had only learned about the affair recently, like I did. But she wanted me to know that my grandma had known about everything all along and had been a very active part of their lives. Hearing this, I felt incredibly betrayed. My grandma knew I had a sister and never told me, and she acted so well that I never even suspected she might know Erica as long as she knew me. Erica also lied, but that hurt less because I barely knew her. I thanked Erica's mom for telling me the truth and hung up. After that, I was determined never to speak to my grandma or Erica again. They both knew the truth and kept me in the dark. If anyone needs therapy, it's them, not me. It's clear they're a team, and now everything makes sense. I haven't blocked either of them yet, but I'm definitely going to avoid speaking to them again. I've been trying to process all of this and come to terms with it. I guess I was right when I said I pretty much don't have anybody in my family that I can count on. It sucks that literally everyone I've known has been lying to me for so long. I wouldn't be surprised if I found out that my mother had also known about the affair. For anyone needing a summary, it's basically this. I have a family full of liars, and I know now that I can't trust anyone. Update 4. Hi! It's been a couple of months since my last update. I've kept my distance from my grandmother and Erica. She lives right next door with her boyfriend, but we don't even say hi to each other, and honestly, I'm fine with that. Actually, I prefer it that way because all of them are liars, and I don't want to have to see them. Unfortunately, she already rented that house, so I don't have a say in it. My grandmother visits Erica quite frequently, and she hasn't bothered to reach out to me since I cut her off after finding out the truth. Initially, I felt really bad about it, because it felt like I had no family left, but honestly, after a while, I came to terms with it. I realized that having no family is better than having one that lies to you and never respects you. At least I have my friends with me, and I know they're always going to be there for me. So far, they're the only people I've been able to count on. My life is going great right now, and I'm cool with everything that's happened. I'm ready to put the past behind me and move on.